My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of the Expendables franchise. And this video will have spoilers, so that's your warning, but I'm not a fan of this franchise. I like the principle of getting all these action stars together, but most of these movies are just generic. They don't even have good action. So it's like, what are you doing? But let's begin with the worst movie. And I feel like this might be a hot take, but if I had to sit down and watch one of these movies right now, the one I would want to watch the least is the very first one. I think this is a terrible movie. It doesn't got a good act. It doesn't got good action. It's not thrilling. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. In fact, it's really boring, and it tries to actually get you to care for some of the most forgettable characters. You've got so many big action stars, but almost no one's given anything to do. And on top of that, Dolph Lundgren, he's like one of the Expendables, but then he's a villain. And then at the end of the movie, everything's just good with him. No. I just find this movie to be incredibly boring, and I'd never watch it again. The second worst movie in this franchise is The Expendables 3. This movie doesn't even utilize the premise of this franchise at all. Instead of getting all these old action stars together, this movie puts them aside for these new forgettable cast members, and they're not good. They're very bad, in fact. So it's like the one thing this franchise had isn't even present here for the most part, and it still feels every bit as generic. The action is still really bad. The only reason why I put this movie above the first one is because I think Mel Gibson is legitimately really good here. But aside from that, it's another terrible movie. My top two. I have my list in front of me, but I'm actually going to switch things up last moment and say my second favorite Expendables movie is The Expendables 2. Yes, I know I gave this one a 5 out of 10 and I gave the other one a 4 out of 10, but I'd rather watch the other one. This movie is competent. It's not. No, it's boring. It is. The action is just people shooting at stuff and the good guys not getting hit. That's the entire movie. And you've just got every first line of dialogue. Lippy Calais, I'll be back. No, you've been back enough. I'll be back. Just stop. It doesn't work for me. Just none of that works for me. Jean-Claude Van Damme is a really good villain. And I like the story they're trying to tell with Liam Hemsworth's death and all of that. But I don't see myself ever watching this movie again either, to be honest. I just think it's I think I was too nice to this movie, to be honest. It's competent, but it's still generic and forgettable. Just because it's not shaky cam and it's not 100 cuts per minute doesn't mean that it's automatically a good movie. It's just less headache inducing. But speaking of headache inducing, I think if I had to choose one of these movies to watch again, I would pick the newest one, number 4. And it's because it's mainly a Jason Statham star vehicle. He is the one to carry this movie, and I think he has so much charisma and he just has that personality, and he's one of the best action stars. He makes every movie better. I also liked Megan Fox in this movie. I thought she added some nice new energy, and I kind of like the relationship between her and Jason Statham. I thought it added something new to this franchise. And I thought the plot of Bonnie getting killed and Christmas getting put aside while the team has to go get their revenge, and Christmas going on like a one-man revenge tour. I don't know, that it's so simple, but it's easily the most focused story of the bunch. It's not here and you gotta save this person from this person. It's not this and that and this. No, it's just clear as day and it's focused, and I really like that. And despite the fact that Bonnie's not actually dead, I could not believe my eyes they actually did that. I was just waiting for it the entire time, and I'm like, there's a corpse, but still I've got my doubts. And then in the end I'm like, shit, you actually did it. Now that said, there's like no emotion when he dies, and this movie is terribly directed. Like the cuts and the cinematography in the CGI is just abysmal. Whether it's people in vehicles or the explosions at the end, this movie looks like trash, but it's kind of got that cheesy action vibe. Like, out of all these movies, I feel like this is a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone would have starred in if it came out in the 1980s. It just got that vibe to it. And the more it sits with me, the more I don't hate it. It's not a great movie by any means, but it's heavily flawed. But it's still, I think, the most watchable of the bunch. So, yeah, that's my ranking. That's what I'm going with. But what's your ranking? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.